guys, we got some special news today.
We got some very pretty cool news we found out recently. Every year, Universal Studios has Halloween Horror Nights, which, as most of you know, is an event where everybody dresses up in little Halloween monster costumes, and they come and they chase you, and there's mazes, and you could ride the rides, and it's pretty cool. But this year they have something special.
This year they got something kind of epic.
It's a whole screamatorium of Blumhouse, and it just so happens that some of the junk they have there are the actual FNAF costumes from the actual FNAF movie.
And we're going to go see it tomorrow.
Looks right now.
I'm glad you actually had news to share. I was just saying that to see what you'd come up with.
Well, it is kind of big news.
It is.
We were very excited
ginormous.
about it.
Yeah, the second I saw it, I was like, okay, we need to go to Universal.
Mark's like, where is this? Which one? Is it the Universal?
Yes,
is it? Yes. Oh, we got to get tickets. And then immediately we're like, hi, Kellen. You want to go with us, Kellen?
And Kellen was like, no. Either way, I'm excited. The movie comes out so guys, we've been talking about, if you've been following along the podcast, it's weird. From the very start, we've been talking about Five Nights at Freddy's and Saw X, and they're both coming out. Like, Saw comes out in like a couple of weeks.
Saw's coming out this month, and then Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out next month.
Kind of. This is a stacked month.
This is kind of like, and it's like the 1 anniversary of our podcast coming up.
It is, yeah. Yeah. We recorded episodes as far back as February, but it took us till September to upload.
Let's
or
look.
January.
Almost at 22,000 subscribers. Whoa. We're going to have a big old 1 year, like, hullabalooza.
Yeah, it'll be kind of awesome, guys, so stay tuned.
Yeah. So, before we started this podcast, Mark was listening to this guy, like, talk about creepypastas.
I was going to ask you, you know what? Okay, shake hands. I was going to ask you the same thing. I was like, okay, if we're talking about anything, I want to talk about creepypastas, because I was really into them as like a teen.
I didn't know shit about creepypastas until like years ago.
Really?
And my first exposure, I guess, to creepypastas was my friend telling me about Squidward's suicide. And he was like, you want to see the picture of Squidward's suicide? It's really scary. And I was like, no, I don't want to see that, actually. I don't want to see a scary Squidward.
What age are you?
And I was like 20.
Oh.
I was like, I don't want to see scary Squidward. No, thank you.
I would see that. I think I've said this before, maybe not in the podcast, but I was terrified as a kid of a Markiplier thumbnail. It was when he was playing
the Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse where his like eyes are all bloody.
Here, put the Mickey Mouse here.
Yeah, honestly, that is like, there's a reason why that's the most common horror like face to do now. It's like the smile with the beady eyes, staring at you.
The beady red dot eyes that look like blood's coming out of them.
Yeah, that's like the big thing.
Okay.
It's like
Give me your fake new creepypasta like icon thumbnail. What would it look like?
There it goes. There it is, guys. I'll
describe it right now.
You gotta have a smile, like an open mouth smile with no teeth and no tongue, but it can't be like a perfect happy smile, like open smile. It has to kind of like be like non-symmetrical. You know what I mean?
Like a really big crooked smile.
It's gotta be like not overly crooked to where it looks cartoony, but it has to be just enough to where your mind is like, that's not right. You know what I think of? I think of the new sonic.exe where they redesigned him.
With two little red beady eyes.
That appears a split second before the image gets cut off.
I imagine that most creepypastas are obviously based off of like realish kind of things that make it scary. So I would want my creepypasta monster to look like someone who had been curb stomped. So it's just like an overbite jaw with like jagged teeth, and like the bottom jaw is completely like broken off, so it's like mouth is like a gape, kind of like Golden Freddy, but then it looks like it's like dangling there, but it's not really dangling there, you know what I mean? You can't really tell because it's also like distorted a little bit. It's kind of like my creepypasta would be a photo taken that is like a police criminal photo that they took like evidence, right? But it's kind of blurry, and it's a man who had gotten curb stomped. But in his eyes, you cannot see the white of his eyes, and you see red little dots.
It'd be one of those stories where, like, the creepypasta is like the police report. Like, I was an intern for a police station, and this is the only photo they took of the day.
I was on a ride along with our local police station, thinking I would get a better understanding to how things work around here.
I managed to snap one of the photos that I took, but it's a little blurry. Sorry, and then it's that's all you get.
They didn't know I took this photo. They didn't want us taking photos.
It would be like it would be like he was in our jail cell for weeks, but he never moved like at all. He just sat there like
Taunting us.
taunting us.
Yeah, I'd like to believe that it was a case where this man was just so unhinged but so like inactive that it caused psychological distress onto those who were near him, that would cause them to like want to like kill him, which is why he's curb stomped. But he can't ever die.
There you go, guys.
That's our creepypastas.
Someone write it up, and if someone writes that, we'll read it on the
Yeah,
future
you know
podcast.
what? Here is an email. Boom. Here's an email. Write us your creepypastas and we'll read them.
If you don't want to have it be about that thing in particular, just write a creepypasta.
Yeah, just write anything.
And no plagiarizing.
Yeah,
we
no,
will look it up. We will copy paste the
yeah, we'll
text
copy
into Google.
pasta this creepypasta
Yeah.
if you copy it.
You know, as a kid, I was mostly scared by the ones based off stuff I would know. I would always like get scared by them and be like, I can never watch one of these. They're so scary. And then it comes like nighttime and I'm like, I want to look up creepypastas.
Okay, in less than 15 words, describe to me Ben Drowned.
A disclaimer for Ben Drowned fans out there: I've never actually read it or really like. I never.
Ben Drowned fans.
I never cared about Zelda as a kid, so I never really paid attention to Ben Drowned. But from my understanding, Ocarina of Time cartridge,
Ocarina of Time cartridge. No,
all fucked up.
all fucked up.
Link dies brutally. Neem says Ben Drowned. On the title screen. there's my summary of Ben Drowned.
Guys, rate 1 out of 10 Baba Booies in the comment
Were
section.
you scared?
Yeah.
If you were watching that at nighttime in bed, listening to it on your phone, would you be scared? The one that fucked me up the most was the Teals doll as a kid.
That's right. I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, I
You're
think
gonna
I
tell
made a
them.
video about it once. Not the one on Splash Dash, but I made a video on my main channel about it. I've never showed you that, have
Yes,
I?
you have.
It's a video of like me when I'm like 16 talking about
No, you haven't.
how I was like terrified of the Teals doll as a kid.
Mark never likes watching his old videos.
It's my voice is so weird. But then people would argue my voice is weird now. Yeah, no, I made a video where I would talk about it, but it like I'm trying to think about the first place I would have seen it. I think it was just like Sonic R, creepypastas. I would see it on YouTube. It would be like YouTube videos of like people reading the stories, word for word. Going
So
through
your
them.
introduction to creepypastas was through like YouTube videos.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
And there'd be all these different teal stall ones, and then I think I saw like an AMV that had like a teal stall animation in it for a bit, or it was like a teal stall AMV, and there was one shot that really scared me. And you know what's interesting? I've never told you this,
Oh.
but there was one song by Two Door Cinema Club that would air around the time I saw that. It was like advertising their CD. That's how long ago this was. And it was the music video where they're playing the guitar to three of them, and they're kind of like laying on a black like sheet, and like all these little like things like come into the frame.
Darn, I don't remember.
Maybe if I showed you, we saw it
If
recently.
you played it, I could.
Look, guys, I'll show you. This is the song. That's the song. And that would air, and there's them being in like the black kind of void. There was some word they were singing that I associated with the AMV because the song that played kind of was like a creepier version of something
Of
like that.
that?
Not of that song literally, but of a song kind of like that, where it's like the guitars and all grungy and stuff, but it's like demonic. So it was playing that, and it had like so I just intrinsically associate that with the Teals doll.
But in your head, does it cross wires with like in-betweeners and like?
I never watched In-Betweeners as a kid around that time.
Oh.
I watched that when Tom.
But what about
introduced it to me.
now? What about now? When you hear that song now, do you think of In-Betweeners or do you think of the Tails doll?
I don't think of the Teals doll when I hear that song because as a kid I could not remember the song. But whenever I see the music video, I think of the song. The Teals
see.
doll. It's confusing, but I feel like it's weird how your mind associates that kind of stuff. I also associate it with Star Wars. It's the one where they meet Jabba the Hutt because my dad was playing that in the background while I was on like the family laptop watching.
What do you mean the one where they meet Jabba the Hutt?
The movie, Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but was it like Lego Star Wars? Was it like
Oh,
Star
no, the
Wars Attack
movie.
of the Clones?
The
Like-
movie, like
like the old ones?
yeah, the old ones.
Oh, he was playing a game, or he was playing? The
No, he
movie?
was watching it
Oh.
in the background
Oh,
while
I thought
I
you
was
said
on
he
the,
was playing it, so I was trying to figure out what
but
game.
like playing it. Like,
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
no, I
playing
know,
Star
I see what
Wars.
you mean.
Yeah, so I was really scared of it. That music video in particular, and I can never find it. I think I find it once, or at least I think I did,
Wait,
but I never
what
see it.
music video to what?
AMV, like Tails doll.
The Tails doll AMV. You are not gonna find that now unless you like remember specific
there's one
terms
specific part I remember, but anytime I see it now, I'm like, that's not it. It's it, but it's not it. You know, it doesn't get that.
Are you sure it wasn't like somebody else's like re-uploaded AMV that just like took the like assets from other things?
Maybe this was the part of it that was like they played this but really fast, whereas the usual clip is really slow.
It's so cute though.
That terrified me as a kid.
That looks so cute. I love his little eyes.
I gave up a Tails Funko Pop for the Tails doll. Whenever Funko Pops first came out, I didn't know what they were, and I saw them, and then I was like, well, there's a Sonic one, and my dad was like, do you want it? And I saw there was a Tails one too, and he was like, do you want that one? And I was like, I don't want that to kill me. So I didn't get it, and now it's worth like $300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Little Tails doll.
Yeah, it looks horrible. Though.
You wouldn't think that like sleeping with the Tails doll it wouldn't kill you, like hugging it?
No.
Like, oh, I showed it compassion and love, and now this little guy loves me.
No, I was there was a Flash game I would play on Newgrounds, and it was
I remember you showed me this.
It was like, yeah, it was Teal's Nightmare.
Yeah.
And it ended with like a little cutscene of him waking up, and the Teal's doll
like
rises,
on a shelf, right?
It like rises from behind his bed.
That's right. Yeah.
And then my family would be watching stuff, so I'd have the volume all the way down, so I wouldn't hear. There's like a little joke where Tails is like, oh, it's you, and then like kicks the shit out of him, like sound effects. But I never heard that. I just saw him like rising above the back of his bed, and then it cuts to black, and that's how I thought it ended.
You're like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah. So I anytime I entered a room for like 3 years straight as a kid, like I'm trying to think of the age, like 7 maybe. Anytime I would enter a room, I would always look behind the sofa or look behind like my bed at nighttime when I was going to bed.
You know, my parents used to have this large. I think I've said this before on the podcast. I don't know if I have, but if I haven't, then whatever. My parents used to have a large crucifix of Jesus Christ on the wall, and it was like the most graphic looking crucifix ever. Here's a picture of what it looked like. I bet you I can find one because they sell them at every fucking Mexican type grocery store.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's where my parents would have gotten it.
Maybe one of you guys have it too.
Yeah, he's like gray, and his knees and he's like bloodied the fuck up, and you can like see where he was like speared, I'm pretty sure, and like his hands are just bleeding, and he's like in agony, like on the crucifix.
Yeah.
Right? And around this time I was going to catechism, which is like Catholic school, and we had to play the crucifix game where everyone stood on a square and had to put their arms out like this, and whoever can hold their arms the longest like wins a candy.
Yeah.
Right? And so we had to learn how Jesus Christ was like tortured.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
For teaching purposes.
Yeah.
Pretty clever.
Like I remember our teacher was like, everybody go home and look at your guys' crucifix and see the details of like how he was tortured. So it was the first time I ever
like
noticed to that crucifix that they had. And
Yeah.
it was really big. It was like this big. It's huge. And it was right above their bed.
Damn.
And I was terrified of it. I was deathly scared of it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to hell because I'm scared of Jesus. Oh my God.
That reminds me of this Halloween decoration we've had. I think I've talked to you about it before. It's like the witch.
I vaguely remember this.
We had for years. It was a weird like paper mache statue of a witch, and she looked freaky on her own.
But was it homemade, or was it like your mom bought it at a store?
It was like homemade, bought at a store, but not. It didn't seem like it's the kind of thing that was produced on a factory, you know. And after a couple of years, the mouth broke off, like the bottom jaw. So
it's my creepypasta.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like paper. You know, you could just see the paper. But we'd still take it on every year, and we had it. The way my house was whenever I was a kid was it was really long. It was like one story but really long. So we had a big hallway that was like all the bedrooms and the bathroom and stuff. Then like a big like hallway. Or not hallway, like main room of the house, like the entrance, and then like the kitchen and everything here. And so if I'm getting up at night and I want to go to the kitchen, I have to like walk all the way down that hallway, go through the whole house basically, and right beside the door where which was the entrance to the kitchen, they would have the little witch like right beside it. So I was always like fucking terrified that I would go to like reach to open the door and it would like grab my hand, you know?
Yeah, but she's probably cool. She probably wants to be your friend.
You know what? I have a photo of it.
Do you? we're coming up to like what? It's September 9th. We're coming up to like 21 more days of September until it's the Halloween festival. What is something that you really, really look forward to this Halloween, aside from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
Nothing really.
Really? You know?
Halloween just doesn't do it for me anymore, you know? As a
Why?
kid, it was so, like, cool, and the build-up to it was so, like, amazing, and there's something, like, weirdly nostalgic about, like, certain Halloweens to me as a kid. I remember I would, like, it was really cold around that time because it was, like, getting winter, and I'd always go to, like, my great-granny's house after school and, like, do my homework and watch Fairly Odd Parents, and then I'd go home and play Sonic Adventure DX on my Xbox. But Halloween now is like, who even celebrates Halloween? Like, what kids celebrate Halloween anymore?
Tons of kids celebrate Halloween.
I thought, like,
Halloween-themed drinks, Halloween-themed costumes, candy.
I mean, celebrate Halloween the night. I was expecting to be, like, massive, and no one. We saw no one all day, like, dressed up or anything. So it was like, it didn't even feel like Halloween. I feel like the same thing towards Christmas here, but I guess it's just, like, a weather thing.
Christmas didn't feel like Christmas though, because we were like at my parents' house doing fuck all, and like there was no Christmas decorations. Our home was more Christmassy than our Christmas actual day, you know?
Yeah, we saw Babylon with Veronica's parents. 'Cause that's what you wanted to do.
My mom really wanted to go see Babylon, and it was released on Christmas, so I was like, okay, let's go see it, and it was okay.
But
I
also,
liked it.
I was working on the South Park video. I got the South Park video done like 2 days before Christmas, the ranking one.
That's right.
And so I had been staying up all night, like for 2 nights straight. So on Christmas, we like went to Denny's with your family because they weren't doing food that year. And then
What do you mean weren't doing food that year?
I know that's why I forgot. You guys don't
We do tamales.
Yeah,
we made tamales, Mark. That's what a Mexican Christmas does.
Because we don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Ireland, we have our Thanksgiving dinner on Christmas.
Well, everybody has Christmas dinner.
But is that like turkey and like potatoes?
Most people. A cooked goose for everyone. You ever see Christmas
Really?
Carol? The big dinner. He's Mickey Mouse Christmas
I guess
Carol.
it is just because you're Mexican. I don't know. I was talking to someone about it. And no, you're right.
Yes.
The regular Americans.
Everyone has Christmas dinner. I'm just Mexican and we eat tamales.
Yeah, that's what was weird about it.
But it wasn't. It was a very, very lame Christmas because we didn't do any traditions that we normally did except making tamales.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, we came home from Denny's and then we fell asleep.
Well,
we fell asleep for like 4 hours until we had to see
our
Babylon.
sleep schedule was like super fucked
yeah,
up.
we were doing the South Park
Well, you were
video.
doing the South Park video,
Yeah,
but
and you
my
were
sleep.
staying up with me
I was
sometimes.
staying up because our sleep schedule was just fucked.
Yeah.
Callan was like, you know what, Veronica, if you stay up until 9 p.m. all day, Christmas Day, I will pay for your next plane ticket, or pay for half of your next plane ticket to Ireland, because we were originally gonna go to Ireland with
whenever he was doing his convention in
but
Scotland.
we couldn't or whatever. But I ended up making it. So Callan, I'm holding you to that next time, Callan.
Have you ever had any fears that you've gotten over time?
I mean, everyone knows I used to be terrified of the Donkey Kong Country Game Over. I mean, I've gotten over it, but it still freaks me out. Like, still creeps me out, you know, deep down inside. I don't know. When I was younger, I was kind of a scaredy cat. Like, I was very much afraid of someone kidnapping me at the store, like getting lost at the grocery store, or I was afraid of like scraping my knee and then having to get my leg amputated off, you know. But it didn't stop me from doing anything, but I still had that irrational fear.
Yeah.
And I think as I grew up and got older and like did a lot of more reckless and dangerous things, I've kind of like become blissfully unaware of those normal fears people have.
Yeah, I feel like I've never gotten over any fear. I've just been like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That's it. Even spiders slowly for me are starting to become like, I just don't care.
But now you're scared of cockroaches.
Not not nearly as much as you though.
Oh, you know, I'm terrified of cockroaches.
Like I could kill that one that we saw that one time.
Dude, fucking MVP of the world killing that cockroach. Oh my god. It was such a like my hero moment. Oh. The other day, Butch Hartman posted a photo of a scorpion. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He took a picture of a scorpion. But then he like writes, let me read what he says. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, why does that like scorpion kind of look all fucked up? I'm like, why does it look so weird? Right? He writes, so thankfully this new visitor was about 2 inches long and not the size of a dog. And Luke 10:19 tells me I have the power to trample on them. So hashtag scorpion, hashtag Luke 10:19, hashtag creepy, hashtag weird, hashtag Bible, hashtag scripture, hashtag Jesus Christ.
That's so. I imagine people going on hashtag scorpion are people who are like enthusiasts about them as a pet.
Or
I
like
imagine
them.
Scrolling through it and seeing fucking
It's just-
crushed
He
ones.
stomped on top of his fucking scorpion. It's like stomped and like flattened on this dirt road. And he's just like, the Bible said so.
Yeah, but even then, like you stomp on it, like why take a photo? Why
That's
do you
what
need
I'm
to make a post
saying.
about it?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
There's no debate about it squishing bugs. People don't care.
it's like, okay, well, a scorpion is kind of different because a scorpion is a lot more intelligent than just like a bug, you know? Scorpions are kind of like a predator. So I would imagine, like, rather than just killing it, you would trap it and, like, let it go outside, you know?
Was that in his house?
It was just on a dirt road.
He just saw it on the street.
He just stomped the
He
shit
was
out of
driving
it.
by at nighttime, saw it on the sidewalk, parked his car, got out and stomped on it, took a
Slapped
photo.
it with his Bible. Luke 19.
Guys, this isn't a horror story, but it is terrifying.
Oh.
Veronica talking about like fucking busting up her leg earlier reminded me, and we every time he comes over, we never end up recording, so it's not like he's gonna tell a story ever.
Who?
But you should tell them about the story of how Sonny fucked up his leg as a little baby.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Sonny has this like giant ass scar or gash on the bottom, like on the back of his leg. Like it's this big giant scar, right?
Yeah.
And I guess when he was younger and in elementary school, there was like this open ditch in the playground that had like a pipe that was like kind of sticking out, but the top of it clearly had been stomped on, so it was like really sharp, had like a sharp edge to the pipe.
You can see where this is going.
Yeah, and this kid like pushed him into the ditch and he fell and it sliced into his leg like a big
He said he could see
honkin'-
bone.
He said he could see the muscle and bone being like just completely his skin just dangling off of his leg. And he was like in so much shock, he just didn't even I don't even think he had much of a reaction because of the shock.
Yeah.
But he ended up going to the hospital and his family sued the kid and he got like 20 grand.
Which I would ask for more.
Yeah, 20 grand just because you mutilated my
For
my
emotional
leg.
damage?
But imagine if that was our son who pushed another kid and we have to pay 20 grand. Like, I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
I would be pretty peeved off at my kid. Yeah.
Yeah, what would you do? What discipline would
There's
LS
really
Mark
nothing
do?
I could do.
There's nothing you can do?
I probably would not let them have any form of like
Entertainment?
entertainment / sociability unless I was like around.
Oh, I would make my kid go over to that other kid's house every day. I would like try to like have an arrangement with the other kid, the Sonny's parents, to be like, hey, listen, let me make it up to you by having my kid do your kid's chores.
Yeah, your kid's in a cast now. He's in a
Yeah,
wheelchair.
exactly.
He can't move. He will do all your.
He'll
will
do
get
all your
kid-
chores.
He will get the bedpan for Sonny to shit in when
Yeah,
he needs to.
he will have to give him his Jello.
Yeah.
You know, like I would make him do that. You know what I mean? Community
He
service.
will give Sonny his suppositories.
Yeah, he has to eat Sonny's shit out of his ass and
Yeah.
spit it in the toilet.
Yeah. You cannot be trusted around other kids. So if you ever want to hang out with another kid, they have to come over here, you know, and you're not allowed in any room to lock and like close the door.
See, but this was a case where it happened at school on the playground.
I would hope that my like severity towards their punishment at home would kind of encourage them to not fuck around as they have found out.
I suppose, yeah, taking away, obviously, like, yeah, taking away their little no, my kid wouldn't have an iPad, but like taking away their Super Nintendo and their little emulated Raspberry Pi, so they can't play like games, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe their favorite Crash Bandicoot stuffed animal, take that away from them too.
The one we want from the claw machine.
Yeah, take that away. You can't sleep with Crash tonight. You're
That's
gonna sleep.
winches.
Yeah, that goes to Sammy.
No,
But
she'd rip it
Sammy
apart.
will rip it. Well, you should have been nice. Maybe you shouldn't have ripped open that kid's leg. I don't know.
True. Yeah, that is terrifying though. I've never had something that severe happen to my like body.
You broke an arm, didn't you?
No, I fractured my jaw and I fractured my wrist. Not broke though.
Fracturing and breaking are the same.
Are they?
Yeah, because when you
Oh.
fracture something, it's not snapped in half, but it's broken, so it's still broken.
Oh, I guess my mindset was always like, I can't say I broke an arm, I fractured it.
I learned that in sports medicine in high school.
I
Thank
think
you,
I've told
Mr.
this,
Hansen.
but really quickly, I was at like a summer sports camp, and I was the goalie, and I blocked like a kick from a football, and it like hit my hand and like bent it backwards.
Oof.
And like I was in a cast for all summer, and then another time we were on a seesaw with my sister, and it was like tires under it, so she like went down really hard, and it like went against the tire and flipped me up in the air, and then I like curved all the way around and bashed my jaw off like the middle.
Oof.
And so now whenever I like open my mouth too much, have I done this? This feels
I hate
familiar.
This. You have done this. So gross.
Anytime I open my mouth, it does
I'm
that.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's gross. Sometimes he yawns. He's like,
Yeah, what?
looks like a saw trap.
It is like there's like a weird like.
You get like lockjaw sometimes.
Yes, that has not happened in like a year or two, but
That's good.
it got annoying for a while. It happened really regularly for a while, where I would be like eating something, and as I'd open my mouth, my jaw would just like lock, and I couldn't close it without like having to like force it shut, and it would really hurt.
So when you close your mouth naturally, do your teeth align?
No,
Oh.
but I think that's because of my jaw.
But you also have straight teeth.
I have straight teeth, but it's like as if my jaw is kind of like tilted
Shifted.
to the
Yeah.
side, you know?
Would you ever get jaw surgery to correct it?
No, I don't care enough.
What if it was like, ooh.
It's a story for a podcast.
But what if it's like, ooh, Mark, if you keep your jaw too much, you're gonna wear down the bone, and eventually we'll have to like install a metal plate to hold your jaw up. If you got corrective jaw surgery, we could just do that now.
I'd
if you
say
want.
sure then. Of course. Well, I wouldn't do it here. I'd do it in Ireland where it's free.
Yeah, but you get a botched job. It's free, but it's not. They don't consider cosmetics. They don't consider cosmetically making your face look normal.
They offered me to get surgery once for my chest. I have
He has a hole in his
what's
chest.
it called? I don't know.
He's got a little hole.
Yeah, it's like a little like
It's his sternum is indented inwards.
it's like my rib cage is going inwards.
It's your sternum. It's right here.
Yeah.
Like this part of your chest. It goes inwards. It's like collapsed inwards.
Yeah.
Or concave.
And apparently my dad had it, and my dad told me this story, which he has kept. Veronica denies it, but he's kept it consistent for years. And I went and I asked his mom about it, and I went and asked his dad about it, and they both gave the exact same story, the exact same way, where he had that chest problem, but when he was a teenager, he went to like
a shaman.
a shaman, like a gypsy is the word they use, but I don't think you can say that anymore.
Traveler.
No, I don't know what it was. They used the word gypsy. I don't know what that's referring to. It could be a number of things. She apparently lay him down on his back and then put like a pint of like beer,
In the
because
hole.
it's Ireland, in the hole.
Drink it up.
No, not like the liquid.
Straw-
She like set the
like the bottle?
the bottle on there, or not the bottle, but the cup. You know the
Like the pint.
the pint cup on his chest, and said a magic spell. And then there's probably some other details there I'm missing out on. And then he said over time it just grew back out. So coincidence? I think not.
I think it's a fun little story. They just lied to you about
How'd
to
he
make
get
you
it
feel
fixed then?
better.
What? And my dad did have it, though.
Were you there? Did you see it? Did you see the hole in his chest?
No, I guess
Oh,
not.
it's almost as if it's made up.
I guess ask my dad.
There's no fucking way in hell this bitch put a fucking beer bottle pint on your dad's chest and it just like fixed itself.
Not immediately, but over time.
There's no way. How? How
Maybe
would
it
his
just
bones
fixed
shift?
itself over time. But
Does that happen though?
I don't know. I'm not old enough to have it happen to me yet. Apparently.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
But
I don't buy it.
I was offered surgery to have it fixed, which is a case of they brick your rib cage, I'm pretty sure, and they'll like push it out. Like they just
Forcefully.
They just forcefully push it out, and then they get metal bars and they like drill them into your bone so the rib cage stays there. And then they keep those metal bars in you for like a year or something like that. And then they take it out. They have to like go into your body and take out the fucking metal bars, and then your rib cage is all normal. But my mindset was always like, I can breathe. You know, I'm not having any trouble. I don't care that much.
Yeah.
So I get. And in my mind, it's always like, I'm getting rid of like one deformity
to get a new one.
to get a
It's
new
like
one,
giant
which is just a bunch of scars and a weird like not even like chest.
incision line.
Yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah,
look
but you would
right
look
either
cool.
way.
You would look cool.
Yeah.
You would.
I don't know.
You'd look cool with like a battle scar on your chest.
I will get the surgery done whenever I am physically dying. Whenever I cannot live
You mean
without
physically dying? At that point, just die.
it. At this point, if I can't live without getting the surgery,
I
will
see
get
what
the
you
surgery.
mean. If it's not life threatening, then what's the point in doing it? At that point, it's just cosmetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so you could have like a normal looking chest. Which not to say that your chest looks not normal,
But it's not normal.
but it's not. It doesn't look.
It's not, but for me, it's not that noticeable.
No, it's not.
From a distance, especially, or like a short distance. Like if you were across the room and I wasn't wearing a shirt, it's the kind of thing where if you're looking at me straight on,
wouldn't
it just
tell.
looks like flat.
Yeah,
Um,
you couldn't tell at all. I remember Mark's best friend Tom was telling me about this. The mouse.
that's right. Oh,
And
when
I
you
was
were
like-
streaming, I think.
I was streaming, and I was like, "There's no fucking way Mark has a hole in his chest. You liar! You're so full of shit." And he's like, "He does. He does. Wait, just you wait. Mark's gonna come in a chat." And then you came in, and you're like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "Mark, Tom says you have a fucking hole in your chest." And you're like, "Yeah, I do." I'm like, "Show me." And he like put a video on, and he like had his fist and like put it in the hole in his chest. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I came to Ireland, and I was like, "You do have a hole in your chest."
But guys, you're not allowed to joke about it in the fucking comments.
Yeah,
If I
okay,
see
it's a
one joke,
really
you're getting
sensitive-
blocked. Veronica,
Yes, Mark.
if you were to
Mm-hmm.
give any direction for a Donkey Kong movie, what would it be? Because they're making new Donkey Kong stuff.
Dude,
apparently.
okay. I was telling Mark was like, "Oh, this guy on Twitter who like leaked Sonic stuff before and was like correct is leaking new stuff about the Nintendo Direct."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And he's hinting that there's going to be a new Donkey Kong game. And I was like, "I bet you anything if it's a Donkey Kong game, it's going to be a Donkey Kong and Mario game. It's not going to just be a Donkey Kong game." They don't care.
You thought they were adding him to like Mario Wonder or something.
Yeah,
like
I was
that.
like, "Oh, are they going to bring him into like the new Mario Wonderland?"
Wonder.
It's like the one with Peach and Daisy in them.
Mario
Yeah,
Wonder.
that one, Mario Wonderland. So I was thinking it was either something like that or it was going to be the case where it's like Tropical Freeze, but it's Mario and Donkey Kong instead.
Yeah.
Where it's like a side-scrolling 3D platformer.
A side-scrolling 3D platformer.
Yeah, that's what Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze
Oh, you mean
is.
3D graphics? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a side-scrolling 3D platformer.
Actually, the proper term is 2.5D.
There's no such thing as a 2.5 dimension, so you're fucking stupid. But I personally think the best kind of Donkey Kong game would be one where it's kind of like like a more fleshed out version of one of the bosses in either Donkey Kong Country 1 or Donkey Kong Country 2. Like I really want like that pirate theme back.
Yeah.
And like Diddy Kong being like more of a main character and being more of like the main and protagonist rather than Donkey Kong per se. Would be cooler. Just honestly, and then David Wise coming back with the music, but the music's got to be jazzy. Can't be like Tropical Freeze where it's got really shit music, and it's still by David Wise, but it's still like it's not jazzy like it was in the first 3 games.
He would get voiced by Seth Rogen, though.
No, you said my Donkey Kong game, my
I said
perfect
movie.
Oh, movie. Oh, my perfect Donkey Kong movie. Oh, okay. I thought you meant game. Never mind. Well, if the movie, didn't realize you were talking about the movie, making a movie. Sorry, cut all that out. Okay, Donkey
changes
Kong.
everything.
This changes everything. Okay, Donkey Kong movie is the story of fucking Donkey Kong getting his goddamn bananas back. That's the whole point of the first game. Why can't we have it as a movie? Why can't we have the introduction as King K. Rool as the enemy? You know what I mean?
It would be him going about the Mushroom Kingdom, and he'd meet Mario.
No.
for a little bit, and it would.
It would be. It'd be
that.
him at the Mushroom Kingdom. Like he's living at the Mushroom Kingdom now, helping Mario. Like
Yeah,
you
or
know what I
maybe-
mean? Some bullshit like that.
Or maybe it would be like before Mario entered the Mushroom Kingdom, like
There was Donkey
there was
Kong.
Donkey Kong, and it would just be him hanging around in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Or it'd be a thing where it's like, oh, Donkey Kong's ancestors used to kidnap Princess Peach's ancestors, and you know it's him having to not. I don't want to be like you, Dad. I want to be a party rocking awesome ape, man.
I want to be a singer.
I don't want to be a pile
I want
band.
to be part of your gang.
It's my son.
I have no son. That's my son. Like directly follows each other.
But you know what I mean? Like I would want the Donkey Kong movie to be about Donkey Kong Country 1. And the simplest idea for the plot is Donkey Kong wants his fucking bananas back, and he wants King K. Rool off his goddamn island.
Okay, but here's the biggest question though: who voices King K. Rool and who voices Diddy Kong? Diddy Kong, Michael Cera.
No. Diddy Kong. Oh, that's tough. I never really imagined a voice for Diddy Kong, even though he has a voice from the original series.
Yeah,
but
would you think of it something like the original series?
If I could have things my way, and this is impossible, but I would have the voice actress who did the voice of Tails in the animated, like, old Sonic series, the Sonic the Hedgehog series.
Really, her?
Yeah, I'd have her as Diddy, because that would be kind of good. And Donkey Kong, I would have the Donkey Kong from the fucking animated series, the mocap animated series.
Yeah.
He's the best Donkey Kong.
What about King K. Rool?
King K. Rool.
He's the best Donkey Kong because he's cool.
Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
He's doing his Mr. Krabs voice.
Not Mr. Krabs, but doing a Clancy Brown, I just feel like would do a good King K. Rool.
That would be good. It wouldn't be him though. It would be someone like Keith David, or not Keith David. What's his name? It would be like Idris Elba or someone like that. You know.
It has to be somebody who has a very posh, poised type voice, but can also be performative comedically with it. You know what I mean? And not in like an annoying way. Like I feel like the mocap animated series, a really good like comparison to that King K. Rool is like the werewolf from Scary Godmother. If you guys remember Scary Godmother, you remember how the werewolf where he was like, oh, hello, oh, and he's like he's very like over the top, overzealous, like extremely extra.
Yeah. That's
kind of how King K. Rool is, and that kind of like trope where it's like a posh guy, but he's kind of like, oh, everything awful happens to me. Oh, why is me? And then falls over and farts in his hand and like fucking smells it, you know?
What?
It's just nonsense, right? Exactly. It's just nonsense. And so I feel like that's how they're going to do King K. Rool if they did, but my version would be a version where it's like sophisticated yet funny, and you're like, you appreciate the performance rather than the gag, you know?
I feel like they were trying to go for that in Bowser, or with Bowser in the original movie, where it's like, in the Mario movie.
It was more tasteful though.
Where he's like kind of, you're meant to find him cool. They don't like make him a joke, but they still just kind of play him comedically. But that movie just doesn't have the best writing, so they don't pull it off very well.
Also, yeah, that movie is not, it's not really heavily based on personality.
Yeah.
Really at all. It's just like the empty character.
Yeah, she's like, oh, he wants Peach. So,
yeah.
So
he wants to help Peach.
That, so,
yeah. Or yeah, oh, Bowser. Sorry, I thought you meant Mario. Yeah, he's just like, oh, he has a crush. That's just the extent of his personality. We don't actually really see much of
so
any
it's like,
other
what jokes can we make about him wanting Peach?
Exactly. But I feel like if they did something where it was King K. Rool, like King K. Rool has to have a personality because he has to have like a motivation, right?
So, yeah.
Crystal Coconut.
So your general thesis is, if they were to make a Donkey Kong movie, it couldn't be structured, written, or even visually look like the Mario movie. It would have to be its own thing.
It would have to be its own thing. It'd have to be really dark.
You would want it to be Donkey Kong Country, the movie.
Yes, I would want it to be Donkey Kong Country, the movie, because that would be a Donkey Kong movie. You know what I mean? If you could have any movie for Donkey Kong based off of any of the games, and it would be Donkey Kong Country, of course, but I would even go as far as to say Donkey Konga would be a good one. A lot of the bosses in Donkey Konga or Donkey Kong Jungle Beat both fucking have sick bosses.
The rival like designs.
Yes, they look fucking cool. If it were a thing where it was like Donkey Kong having to like use fucking awesome fucking banana slamming powers, and
Donkey Kong's like kicked out of his house by all the evil
big
monkeys.
giant werehog looking one.
Yeah,
that one was really sick.
It was so cool because I loved that as a kid, because Donkey Kong is already so big, but when you're in like the 1v1 fights, they make Donkey Kong look tiny.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not like overly big to where they're like unreasonable. It's just like, holy shit, they're fucking big.
And then seeing the amount of bananas that you get from beating them, I always like that.
I
loved the fucking bananas, dude. They never whatever. I'm not going to get into the Mario movie. That's whatever.
Guys, wasn't that a fun-filled podcast episode of Donkey Kongs and scary movies and
creepypastas
and epic movies
and Tails doll?
Tune in next time when we're
gonna be drawing the most perfect Timmy Turner.
It's not a podcast. Yeah, we're gonna upload some more experimental videos like we said last week, but then we got busy.
I think we should do a vlog of us going to Universal.
Sure, if you
Why
want to
not?
film.
Yeah, I'll film.
So guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
But also, Baba Booey.